Mark, before we let you go, any deep reflections on what this tells us and how much perhaps this has been affected by the pandemic and where these teams are in terms of moving up a notch?
I certainly think that United have benefited from the fact that Rashford and Pogba are fit again after they would have missed the end of the season had it been as it was, had it played out as it was. I think Chelsea also have had a bit of a benefit from people like Pulisic has come back. He looked like he was hitting the wall a bit fitness-wise. So I think, as we said at the time, Gav, that you disagreed that the teams that have stronger benches with 5 subs will benefit. And I think we see that. We see that with United and Chelsea. I think Solskjaer's made something like 30 substitutions since the restart. So the bigger clubs with the bigger squads have got more fresher players. I just think it's played that way. And I think that's why we're seeing as it is.
This is a very average Premier League season, right? Apart from Liverpool's dominance and all their brilliance and how ruthless they've been, so efficient in the 2 boxes, this is a very average. City have 9 defeats. Chelsea have 10 defeats.
Who cares about the number of defeats? Why is the number of defeats relevant? Surely the number of points is relevant, right?
But surely the number of defeats reflect the number of points. The more defeats you have, the less points you have, right?
And there's so many of the big clubs. You go through the top 6, let's say the big 6. Liverpool are flying, but Man City are obviously in a transitional period between where they were last year and where they need to be. We don't know about Guardiola's long-term commitment. Tottenham.
I'm not sure Pep agrees with you on that. By the way, that this is a City team in transition. I don't.
Well, look at the defense. They haven't got any defense. That defense is in transition because they haven't got any defenders apart from Laporte. So they need to
central
improve that defense. Silva's going to retire. Aguero's got a year left in his contract. I think that City are.
I agree with Gav. I'm not sure they're that much in transition, really.
City could win the Champions League this year. I mean, I know.
But I still think that squad.
It's not like everybody's in transition because they're not first on the table.
But the point is that I still think that City have got issues to address. United obviously started the season in a bit of a mess, and they and Chelsea have had their clear out last summer. So what I'm saying is that there's only Liverpool that right now are where they want to be, and the other clubs are still trying to find their way. And I think next season we'll probably see them a lot closer. I think United and Chelsea will be closer because Chelsea have invested well. United have seen the benefit of getting rid of players last summer, and I thought at the time they cut it back too far. I thought they got rid of too many experienced players and had too many kids. But I think they're going to get away with it because of circumstances this season that have enabled them to have a second go at it. But it's been a one-horse race for too long.
You don't think it's been an average season, really? Be honest. From what we've seen from the performances, and not just the big clubs, but you don't think it's been average compared to what we've seen before?
I mean, again, if we're going to focus on the big 6, which is what people inevitably focus on, right? If you take a wider point, then Leicester and Wolves certainly aren't in transition. Sheffield United overachieved this season. Burnley, I think, probably overachieved this season as well.
Yeah. Everton are interesting as well. Everton, under Ancelotti, Everton are showing signs that they might be able to compete at some level next season, certainly for Europe. So I think this season, we'll look back on this season as a kind of a bridge between the City dominance to Liverpool's dominance and maybe the re-emergence of the bigger clubs. It'd be great if Arsenal, Man United and Chelsea were powerful again. It'd just make it a much more interesting league.
Yeah, next season should be more interesting than this season, for sure.
Arsenal are a year behind, though, that they have to get through their pain this summer in terms of getting rid of people like Ozil and maybe Guendouzi. And, I'm not sure Lacazette is there for those.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Stop. Honestly, for your own safety.
Just
to complete the thought I had before.
I don't like Lacazette's body language. I think Aubameyang is
don't get me started. I didn't hear what you said.
Stop. Look, in the big 6, you've had 2 teams that were clearly in transition because United got rid of all the veterans and pushed the kids this year, and Chelsea had the transfer ban and pushed the kids, and you had 2 teams in Arsenal and Spurs who, let's not forget, changed their managers.
Yeah.
What I don't accept, and you can say, well, they made a mistake because they didn't buy another central defender and Laporte got injured, but City won the title with 1 million points last year. City are not a team in transition, and I think, this season, they should have been much closer to where Liverpool was. Yeah, City are a team that are at the peak. Now, when you're at the peak, obviously next you go down, but they're not going down now.
I think they're at the peak a year, 18 months ago. Seriously, look
they were better.
If you take out Laporte, they haven't got a defender you'd rely upon.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. If you take out Van Dijk, you're going to stake your future on Joe and Lovren and Matip?
You still got Alexander Arnold.
You want to go there?
You got Andy Robertson. You still got the
No, those guys are fullbacks.
Yeah. You meant
It's
central
different.
defenders.
You talked about central defenders, yeah?
No, talk about the back four. Look at City.
Okay.
Walker, in his 30s now, up and down. They haven't got a left back. I could play better at left back than Mendy or Zinchenko.
Okay, all right.
Mendy.
All right.
Stones never plays. They play
Enough of your disrespect.
And he's about 5'6". They haven't got a defence to talk of. That is a transitional team if they haven't got a defence.
All right. I'm sure that we have a whole long summer ahead to continue examining these issues. Augie, thanks so much.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.